Sunday, February 18th at 8:40 a.m. I'm supposed to fellowship. This isn't even it's like, oh, do you want to play a game? I never watched those movies for a reason. The fact that people know that it's happening and the solution is really simple. It's as simple as actually answering the phone. Like I felt good enough that I could get in my car today. But see, those are details that nobody knows. But Steve does. Steve's lived with me all these years and knows how my health and my pain levels go. And he knows when I'm pissing myself. See, that's the details that my husband knows and knows that I have limits. Because he's the one that had me piss outside behind the shed. Because he didn't want me to see what was in his house. He pushed the children out onto the porch at 1:30 in the morning. But that's a whole other story. See, we lived it. I lived it. And everyone is watching as it continues and doing nothing to stop it. And I'm here, and it's me and the children. Like, collateral damage and acceptable loss. Well, those two children have had enough loss, but everything that they're losing now, must be acceptable. Any further loss for those two children is unacceptable. Is it because I'm their mother and grandmother that is saying that you're not hearing me? Any further loss for those children is not acceptable. I am their grandmother. I don't give a fuck what else is going on. Any further loss? 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 Acceptable loss? Acceptable loss? collateral damage. My two children have lost enough. Joshua, Bethany have lost enough. Those are my two children. Their children are my grandchildren. I dedicated my life to Bethany's children. I dedicated my life to my son Joshua. I guess now I'm acceptable loss. Acceptable loss. Collateral damage. They're being alienated from the affection of their grandmother and their mother. Alienation of affection. Parental alienation. Mental, physical, emotional duress caused by the inaction of another individual, which would be perpetrating duress, mental, physical, and emotional. You want to play a game? It's an escape room. You have to know the code. You have to escape the room. See, I never played those fucked up games because that's sick. But what are they doing to me? It will do what it tells us. It will do what we tell it to do, or it does not get to speak to its children. It will behave as we say it will behave, or it does not get to speak with its children. It will do as we dictate that it does, or it does not get to speak with its children. We will teach it through screens, and we will let it parent through screens. We'll do online parenting, like that online learning worked so well for our children. We'll do online parenting because it worked so well for school. And the person who controls the communication devices has the control of master, and I am his slave. And he is being enabled by a system that has no love and loses children by the thousands a day, whether it be to drugs, whether it be to trafficking, whether it be to collectors collecting. It's not your kids, it's mine. "2 years. It does what it says we tell it to do, or it doesn't see its children. It does what we deem it can do, or it doesn't even get to hear its children's voices. Because we manipulate the children into refusing to do. We tell the children that you can call her, but then we don't let them call her. We tell her that we don't even mention her to the children. Oh, it's in writing, in a text. It does what we tell it to do, or it doesn't see its children. It does what we tell it to do, or it doesn't see its children. Mosquitoes. Chain link fence does not keep out mosquitoes. But we had this thing. We had this thing. We were forced to massacre our children. Because we had this thing. Because we had this thing. We were forced. What was I convicted? What did I do? What was I convicted of? What was the abuse? What was I accused of? What was the abuse? And I'm reduced to begging and crying and pouring out pain just to hear their voices, just to let them know that I'm still out here in the hell. Oh, surely they know you still love them. Why do they even have to be in an environment where anybody would even question? Why is their grandmother not allowed to speak with them? Who's controlling that? Who's enabling that? Somebody please give me a justifiable reason why a grandmother should not be allowed to speak with her grandchildren. A mother should not be allowed to speak with her children. Because a father decided. No court decided. No court has terminated my parental rights. No court has given me a justifiable reason why I should be begging and crying a man. Give me permission to speak with my children. I recall the judge saying, if visits aren't happening, I want to know why. Well, they're not happening. I'm not even allowed to talk to them. Because the man was given his control back. I lost my everything. The children lost their stable home. Why? Because the man stopped caring for us. How did I get here? Where is my family? And why am I here? No one gives a fuck. It's not conducive to the narrative. Why are we here? Because he bailed on us years ago. But, again, I do not recall signing up for polygamy. I do not recall signing up to be a sister wife or a first wife. I didn't sign up for that. I did not sign up to contribute to putting a roof over my husband's mistress's head while they're allowed to cohabitate in the home. I set up so the children would have a place for parenting time. But I was forced to piss outside behind the shed, and the children shoved out onto the porch in the middle of the night. But, what? Because the abuse that I suffered, the abuse that he's doing now, that they're watching happen, that they're witnessing him do, and giving him the tools to do it, giving him the excuses, enabling him to do it, continue to do it, and hold my children as a dangling carrot, because if I don't behave, then I don't get to see my children again. Do you want to play a game? Do I want to be around people? Yes, I love people very much. I don't want to play a game. And I want to love my children. And I should have the freedom. And my children should have the freedom to love and be loved in return. I'm sorry, what? A mother should have the freedom to love and be loved in return. Child should have the freedom to love and be loved in return. A mother and a child should have the freedom to love and be loved in return. And then I'm sitting here living in a world where that needs to be explained through a screen from a mother begging to love her children and be loved in return is sick. And I'm supposed to be okay with being around human beings that are aware that this is happening. And I'm supposed to think that you love me or have any love of Christ in you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nope.